right. All right. All right. All right. All right. People, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. As you guys know, tonight I promise you we'll be talking about the stock market. We'll be talking about certain stocks I recommend you buy. As the market crashes, as you guys know, this is buy from Mentourme.com. There's a lot going on in this market. Hold on one second. Let me get on Instagram real quick on my platform, just in case I have questions and I'm able to answer questions. Cool. All right, here we go. People, what's going on? This is your boy from Mentourme.com. Tonight we're going to be talking about the stock market. We're also going to be talking about 9 to 10 different stocks that I recommend you guys take a look at as the market goes down. And understand, people, this is just my recommendation. This is not financial advice. This is just education. As you guys know, I've been in the stock market investing and trading for at least, I'll say 13 to 14 years. I'm very familiar with the market, the dynamics of it, the economics of it. I've made a lot of wealth through the stock market, and my goal is to tell you guys how you can make some wealth too. One thing I want you guys to know, as you guys can see, the stock market is a roller coaster just like anything else. It goes up some years, it goes down some years, and this is the years it's going down. And it started going down from last year, early last year, and it had probably another 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years to go. What could change the dynamics of the market is if, let's say, for example, we change presidents. Again, regulations, laws is going to change. That could, of course, benefit or affect the market in many different ways. Some are saying if Trump wins, the market will do an instant change in a positive direction. Nobody knows if that's true or not, but at the end of the day, people, economics do play a big role when it comes to investing, when it comes to growing and investing your dollars. Tonight, we're talking about, of course, 9 different stocks I highly recommend you take a look at as you're investing into the market, the stock market. A couple days ago, I talked about the crypto market. Now we're talking about the stock market. And what I've done is, not only am I going to give you stocks that I recommend you take a look at to invest into, and I recommend you understand that I did this in a way where even if you're not spending a lot of money, I gave you an expensive stock for some of you that may call it expensive. And I also gave you a stock that's inexpensive that does almost the same thing. Now, as you guys know, the stock market has many stocks that's down at least 70 to at least 90% right now, just like the cryptocurrency market, except for Bitcoin, right? And we're going to first start off with number one. Number one, I want to say this before I even really get into number one, is this. You invest into the market. Invest meaning you're holding long-term, more than 12 months. If you're not an individual that's comfortable holding for more than 12 months, I don't recommend you try to trade this down market. You can really hurt yourself and lose a lot of money, because a part of investing or trading is controlling your emotions. And a lot of you, as markets start to go down, you start to see the value of your accounts go down. You start to get uncomfortable because you're either emotionally unstable or you start hearing rumors. So my opinion to a lot of you who are in the market or who is about to get into the market, it's definitely something you got to consider when you're diving into this market called the stock market. The stock market have made a lot of multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires, and it's still doing it. But if you're looking for great growth and a lot of wealth, and you're trying to, hypothetically, I like to use this word sometimes, you're trying to be rich, whatever that is, because it's subjective. The best place to put your money for long-term wealth is the stock market. Now, a lot of us know real estate has great value too, but tonight we're just strictly talking about the stock market. Now, stock number one, and if you have any questions, feel free to put your questions below. I'll be glad to answer some of your questions. I can't handle all of them, but we're going to first start off with, this is 4 different stocks, but again, this is still number one. Right now, Tesla is at $700. It dropped to about maybe $583. The highest it was at was roughly about $1,200 to $1,300. Okay, and some change. At this point, it's 50% below value. One thing I recommend if you're going to be diving into the stock market, Tesla is, for some people, an expensive stock. I do have Tesla shares. I'm a big fan of Tesla, but I also want to tell you guys this. You got to understand when you're buying right now, you got to do something called dollar cost averaging. Buying a portion, giving it a couple of months, maybe 6 months again, buying some more. Then as the market fully pulls back or tanks, buy some more to get to the total amount that you want to get to. Do not take, hypothetically, you're investing, I don't know, $10,000. Do not take 10,000 and go put all 10,000 today. That is not something I would recommend you do, because I want to say this again. This market is not done reaching the bottom. It has a lot more room to go. So understand, as you invest into this market that we call the stock market, buy in increments. If you're trying to buy 100 shares of the stock, buy 20 today, 20 maybe in 6 months. As the market maybe crash next year or recorrect itself next year, you buy another 20. Do not buy all 100 or whatever the case may be today or tomorrow. You will hurt yourself, because as the stock pulls down, as it potentially goes down, you will hurt yourself. You will feel uncomfortable. And a lot of you know, as you start to see the value of your dollar go down, a lot of you getting uncomfortable and start to sell. So one thing I want to say as I give you these stocks that I recommend you look into, so a lot of these stocks I do hold. I hold at least 20 shares of different companies. And Tesla is one of my fan favorites, and I'll tell you why. Tesla is about to do something called a stock split. It did it before. Now it's doing it again. This time it's doing what we call a 3-for-1 stock split, meaning if the stock is at $700, which it is today, they're going to divide it by 3. The stock is going to roughly be 200 and some change. Why is that something that companies do? It makes the stock, one, more appealing. Also, it's a great way for companies to raise more capital, because when the stock is at 700, for some people, it's too expensive. But when it's at 200 and some change, it's more affordable, and there's a higher chance people will actually invest, and they get to raise more capital to invest and expand their company. So they're about to do a 3-for-1 split. I think it got approved already. I got to recheck that. And at the end of the day, the stock is going to eventually readjust itself to maybe 200 and some change. I feel comfortably to say, and I can't even say I feel comfortable to say Tesla is a buy, and I recommend you hold for at least 5 to 7 years. When Tesla goes back to 1,400 or more, okay, this is not the first split it did, you will be highly appreciative of yourself. Now, for a lot of you that may look at a stock, okay, well, Bobby, a stock at 700, if it does a stock split, divide that by 3, that's pretty expensive. I want something cheaper. I got other companies that do similar work as Tesla, not the same exact, that can give you the same value if you can hold 5 to 7 years. I want you guys to understand Tesla is a car company, truck company, an information company, a data company, space company. It has a lot of different dynamics in it because of Elon Musk, of course, CEO of the company, founder of the company. Now, another option you have if you want to be in this electrical vehicle sector, when it comes to the future of driving, which is happening, even BMW right now is starting to create pretty much an electrical vehicle for every single car that they own, every series, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, every series is going to be electrical. You might want to take a look at Nikola, as some people call it. The ticker NKLA is at $6. I want you guys to understand, due to, of course, supply and demand, this stock did have some rumors behind it, and the founder itself got fired, and of course he is now compensated. They have new management. They have big contracts that have been executed. These trucks are on the road. Of course, due to supply issues, there's still some delay time before a lot more trucks are going to be on the road. Nikola, whichever one it is, right? Ticker NKLA is at $6. This stock was a $99 stock. It's at $6. This company makes electrical semi-trucks. Okay, we're talking about for those CDL drivers that always that want to complain about maintenance is very expensive, gas is very expensive. Guess what? This company is fixing that problem, because now it's all electrical. And what's unique about the company, they're not just talking about it, they're doing what they say. New CEO, okay? The company has executed contracts with companies that have ordered the trucks 100,000 trucks. Some of the trucks are already on the road in certain states. The stock was at $99. It's at $6. People, focus and understand what I'm trying to tell you. Again, yes, a lot of these companies I'm going to be talking about tonight, some of them may not be profitable yet, but they will be long term. That's why you cannot think you could just get a trade. If you want to see true wealth, you need to learn to invest, which is 5 to 7 years. Look at your age today, hold for 5 to 7 years. The third stock, guys, we're still talking about in this one sector. We're still on number one. We talked about Tesla, which is electrical cars. You guys seen them on the road, and which has a lot of other segments that we talked about. Nikola, okay? Ticker NKLA, which is, of course, semi-trucks, okay? You're talking about these 18-wheelers, people. Now we're going to talk about the next one. A couple years ago, I spoke about ticker NIO, okay? NIO is a Chinese electrical vehicle maker in China, and this stock years ago was at $1. I did a show, and somebody posted it. What's crazy, they posted today and commented today, was like, Bobby, I can never forget, at your show, you told us to invest at $1. Did you guys know 1 or 2 years ago, NIO went to literally almost $75? Do you understand how much money some of us made off of NIO if you simply would have listened and bought at $1? Here's what's funny. NIO went up to $75 or $78. Now NIO is back down to $22. A couple weeks ago, it dropped to $15. My opinion, if somebody asked me what would be a great price point for me to have purchased if it was me, I would wait for NIO to get back to about maybe $12 to $13 or $14 and buy some more. Every company rates this company as a buy. They have strong financials. The companies, their cars are amazing. They look nice, drive nice. The company delivery numbers are amazing. This is definitely a company to take a look at. We're talking ticker NIO. Instead of buying Tesla, you could buy NIO, which is another electrical vehicle car company. Now, the last one I want to talk about, XPEV. XPeng. People, this stock was literally at maybe $60 to $75 also or more. The stock is now at maybe 27. I recommend if it drops to maybe $20 to $22, this stock is definitely a buy. But if you can wait 5 years. The reason I'm saying this when it comes to this sector, the electrical vehicle sector, we still have supply issues. There's still a chip shortage issue. The only two companies that's not really, the only company that's not really being hurt by the chip shortage is Tesla. But I'm also going to add one more stock in this particular line of electrical vehicles. People, make sure you look out for ticker Ford, ticker F, which is Ford. People, Ford is at, I think, $11 or $12. It was at 23. The company also pays dividends. You get paid while you wait for this company to grow, which is amazing. They're about, I think, 2027, they're about to have a full line of electrical vehicles. They're taking a majority of all their cars and they're going electrical. Their stock is only at $11. That's another stock to put in your portfolio of electrical vehicles. People, if you have any questions, make sure you, of course, line yourself up. We just talked about number one. For people that just that's tuning in right now, that's on IG, Facebook, we're talking about 9 different stocks, okay, that you should consider investing into as the market crash. Make sure, like I said, I'm going to say this disclaimer. This is not financial advice. It's just educational information. Do not, if I were you, do not take all your dollars and wake up tomorrow morning and go spend everything on everything I just bought, everything I just talked about. I recommend you buy in increments based on what makes more sense to you. We're going to go to number 2. Number 2, we're talking Snapchat. People, the stock is at $10. I mean, the stock is at, I think, 13. If the stock hits $10, even at the price it's at, it's a buy. The stock was roughly at $7. It's at $13 or $14. Snapchat, if it pulls back, people, imagine you bought Snapchat at $5, which it did it before, when it had to readjust its platform based on Android users not being able to benefit from the app itself. They had to redo their platform to benefit Android users. The stock went from the price it was at, which is I think 40 at one point, dropped to 5, Pulled back up last year, the year before, to 70. Now it's back down to, I think, 13. Snapchat is a buy. Ticker SNAP. If you do not know what Snapchat is, I would consider it more of a marketing company. The company makes a lot of revenue from marketing dollars from us as human beings using the platform to live our everyday lives. This is how the company makes dollars, of course, charges companies to, of course, market their products and services, and they make millions and billions of dollars. Shout out to the young brother who owns Snapchat, man. Amazing. Young guy, too, man. It's crazy. Stock number 3, people, Alibaba. Ticker BABA. People, this is a Chinese company. This is like the Amazon of China. Majority of people who own Shopify companies, they're leveraging this company, or they're leveraging one of his companies. Shout out to Jack Ma. And when I say leveraging one of his companies, we're talking about AliExpress, Alibaba, Alipay. People, at the end of the day, BABA is a buy. I would wait for it to drop to 80. I think it's at about $100 and something. This thing was roughly at 3. It was high in the high 3s or high 2s. I recommend you wait for a pullback, a bad red day, and get in this stock at roughly, I would say my personal preference would be $80 or below. Shouts out to Alibaba. Ticker BABA. People, if you own a Shopify website, majority of people who are leveraging Shopify, who are selling products, are probably buying their products from this company, AliExpress, Alibaba, and using Alipay. This man is genius. I can never forget one time he spoke live and said he makes so much money it makes his head hurt. People, this guy's a multi-billionaire, and he seems very humble. I watch a lot of Jack Ma's interview. I think he's an amazing brother. And I'm a super fan of Jack Ma. Shout out to Jack Ma. All right, number 4. Man, Michael Andrew on Facebook says, I remember that Snapchat fiasco back then. Oh, man, 100% Mike. At one point, I remember when Snapchat went public, and I told everybody, look, I'm not buying it yet. Let me just wait for the pullback, because anytime a stock goes public, I don't believe in stocks. I don't believe in buying stocks when they go public. And Snapchat eventually went to like $39, $40, $45. Cool. And eventually dropped to almost $5. Then last year, the year before, went all the way up to almost 70. Now the stock is back to maybe $12, $13. People, Snapchat is a buy. And imagine next year the market pulls back or crashes, whatever the case may be, or recorrect itself. People, you got to understand, Snap might be at $5. If you can hold, this thing will be back to $70, $75. It's just a game of patience. Tonight we're talking about 9 different stocks that can make you a lot of wealth. If you were able to hold for 5 to 7 years, this is the painful truth, teaching you financial literacy, teaching you the world of investing. Investing means you're holding more than a year. If you do not have the patience and the mental stability to hold for more than a year, you will never see long-term wealth. A lot of you are trying to see $1 million. You're trying to see $500,000. You're trying to see $5 million. The problem why you're not going to ever see it is because you like to sell too fast based on your emotions. Number 5. All right. Tonight, like I said, every stock I'm giving you guys as a recommendation, I try to be fair to give you one that's semi-expensive and also one that's not expensive, just in case we have 2 different types of individuals on this live, which we do. We may have a person that doesn't feel comfortable spending $100 on one share of a stock, but they'll spend $10. So I'm giving you a lot of companies in the same segment to benefit you, so you're able to at least still get a piece of that sector as it grows back again. We're going to be talking about right now Amazon. People, Amazon was at roughly $3,500, $3,400. They just did what we call a 20-for-1 stock split. The stock is currently at $100. The highest has been based on the split was at 188. What is a stock split? I'm going to say it again. People, companies, sometimes their stocks are too expensive for the regular human being that may not be able to afford a $3,400 a share stock. So what the companies do is they do a vote, and if they vote and they agree to say, okay, let's do a split, what they do is, in this case, they did a 20-for-1. So you take $3,400, you divide it by 20. They did a 20-for-1. And whatever that new number is, which was probably 150 or 180, whatever the case may be, that is now the new stock price. And what happens is it's more appealing to the normal person who may not have $3,400 to spend on one stock. But when you see a stock is 150, 140, for some people that's affordable. They will buy some shares for their kids' future, and let the company grow. Amazon, people, we don't even need to talk too much about Amazon. Amazon is controlling everything. That's the only company, no matter, other than Walmart and maybe some of these drive-through companies, this is the only company through the COVID that was continuously making money no matter what. They were never closed. Amazon was making money all through COVID. They're still making money now. Let me say this again. This is $1 trillion company. Okay, $1 trillion company. And a multi-billionaire is who's managing. Shout out to Jeff Bezos for believing in himself. You're talking 20 to 23 years of him growing his establishment. And we all know we use Prime. We want our products the next day. People, at the end of the day, Amazon now is at $100. People are asking me, Bobby, would you buy at $100? No, I think the stock has a lot more to go down. I would rather buy the stock at maybe 70 and start buying in increments as it goes down from 70 or $80. Now, the highest based on the split the stock has been is 188. It's currently at 100. Is it a good time to buy if you look at that dynamic? Yes, it is. But for me, I like super deals. So I put my alerts on my app. I'm going to be alerted when the stock hits $80 or $70 or even less. I'm willing to buy some shares. Now, for a lot of you that may feel $100 is too expensive, there's other stocks you could actually buy. So I'm going to talk about another one that could do the same thing as Amazon to a certain degree. It's not as big, but you're going to see the next version of Amazon as I talk about it right now. People, and understand too, Alibaba is kind of like an Amazon. If you really think about it. That's why I say ticker BABA earlier is such a buy. Is such a buy. Alibaba is the Amazon of China. Now we're talking about the Amazon of the United States right now, and several other countries too when you think about it. For some of you, that $100 stock, again, Amazon being at 100 is too expensive. Cool. I got you. We're going to now talk about a stock called Coupang. Coupang, that's the name of the company, Coupang, ticker CPNG. Coupang is like the Amazon of Korea. The stock went public, probably had a cap at maybe $35, $39. The stock is currently, let's say, at maybe 14. I think at $12, it's a buy. The company's revenues are strong. The company's net profits is strong. It's also backed by one of the biggest banks in the world, one of the biggest investors in the world. If you do not know who this company is that I'm about to talk about, this is something and somebody and some types of people you need to look up. The biggest bank in the world is SoftBank, which has big equity ownership in Coupang. Even one of the head board members of Coupang came out and said, this company is amazing when it comes to doing what they do. Here's what's also so unique about Coupang. Coupang not only do something similar to Prime, they deliver their products in 7 hours. Prime delivers in a day, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days. Coupang delivers their products to their end consumer, end user in 7 days. 7 hours, sorry. People, it's amazing the logistics of this company. The company ticker is CPNG. The stock, I recommend, it would be a great buy at $12 if I were you. I am such a fan of Coupang. I'm heavily invested in Coupang. And I think 5 to 7 years, even 10 years, Coupang will be probably a $400, $500, $700 stock. People pay attention to Coupang, ticker CPNG. I got some questions I'm going to take as I keep going further tonight. We're talking about 9 different stocks. I'm giving you guys so much great knowledge and great information. As I talk about these 9 stocks, it's actually more than 9 because I'm also giving you different stocks just in case in the same sector, just in case the one I talked about is too expensive, I gave you alternatives. Paul was popping, Coupang, CPNG on IG. Shout out to everybody that's on this live. Juju, what's going on? Juju, number one was Tesla, TSLA. If Tesla is too expensive, which is a $700 stock, which they're doing a stock split, it's about to go down to 200 and some change. You could also buy Nikola or Nikila, okay? Ticker NKLA, okay? Which is at $6. You could also buy NIO, NIO, which I recommend buying at maybe 22 or well, I prefer $12 when I really think about it. Let me take that back. I prefer buying NIO at maybe $15 or $12. NIO is another electrical car company that I highly recommend you guys look at. Somebody asked what was number one. And of course, XP, XPEV. Those are the four for number one. The four EV stocks for number one. Let me just take a couple questions. Yeah, Mike was correct. Tesla was number one. Let's see what we got here. What do you think about Lucid, and can you touch on semiconductor stocks long term? Oh man, great question. Shouts out to the bill, my boy, Middle East in the building, Dubai, Palestine, Pakistan in the building was popping. The bill is an impressive mentee friend, brother. We talk a lot, man. I like the brother's mindset. We graduated from the same college. Shouts out to FAU, man. Great question. Here's what Nabil asked. Nabil asked, what about Lucid Motors? Lucid Motors stock went up to maybe $70, tanked back down to maybe, I think, 17. Let me take a look at Lucid Motors 1 second. Let me see where they're currently holding at. Give me 1 second. Let me see where Lucid Motors is at currently. All right, here we go. People, let me say this to you. Lucid Motor is such a buy. I can't believe I forgot that. I am not invested right now in Lucid Motors, okay? Lucid Motors is such a buy, ticker LCID. And that's a great question. Shout out to Nabil. Lucid Motors is another electrical vehicle company. The founder and CEO is, I forgot what the old guy name is, not to be disrespectful to the brother. I just can't remember his name. I remember his face, I just can't remember his name. The guy, he has a unique voice, which is like a luxury voice. It's kind of impressive to say that. But this guy used to work side by side with Elon Musk. In his eyes, he has the luxurious electrical vehicles when it comes to the world of electrical vehicles. I would say, and I'm going to just say this, and I want to respectfully say this, I'm not a fan of Lucid Motors, their design of cars. I'm not going to say I'm a fan. Because a lot of their cars to me look like Buicks, and I'm not a fan of Buicks. But I'm going to say this. The company is at $17. The company was at $70, 68 or 70. This company is a buy. People, the only thing that's slowing down the electrical vehicle sector is the chip shortage and the supply issue. Once this gets back on track, all these electrical vehicle companies that's super cheap, that's almost 80% below value, those stocks will make you the most money. The question is, can you hold long enough? Lucid Motors is 100% for me a buy at the price it's at, $17. This, okay, people, if you're from Florida in Miami, okay, one of the most expensive cities compared to Coral Gables, okay, is Brickell. And Brickell, this company has just 3 or 4 of their cars sitting in a glass cage with nobody in it, paying rent. And people, if you understand Brickell, rent might be $40,000 a month just to have 4 cars sitting there in a glass with no workers. That tells you a lot right there about the company. The company does not have any capital issues. This company, this owner was side by side with Elon Musk. He knows what he's doing. This company, 100% to me, if I were you, is a buy. Shout out to ticker LCID, Lucid Motors. Great question. Now, he also asked another question. How do I feel about the semiconductor companies? I did not talk about the semiconductor companies tonight, but there's a lot of them that's going to do very well. They're pretty expensive. That's one of the reasons I did not tap into NVIDIA and many other semiconductor stocks because they're pretty expensive. If you guys would like to get a list of maybe 4 or 5 of them, I'll be glad to send them to you. If you want to DM me after the live, I'll send them to you tomorrow. You could DM me on my IG, or you could email me at mentourme@gmail.com. I'll be glad to give you a list of semiconductor stocks. Even if I could find a couple that's in state that's under $20, I'll try. But again, a lot of them are usually very expensive. And if they're under $20, they're out the country. There's Taiwan Semiconductor. There's a lot of them, but they're pretty expensive stocks. That's the only reason I did not put them on my list for tonight. Now, great question, by the way. And you guys understand the companies that's making these chips to solve this car problem, these chip shortage problem, is one of the biggest is NVIDIA. These semiconductor companies, they're down like 40%, 50%. They're also buys if they would go lower. But the problem is how low can they go? Because they're still producing value. And the truth is, we got to understand too, for some of us, a $200-300 stock is pretty expensive. But to me, I'm not going to lie to you. He makes a great point. Shouts out to the Bill on this question. Semiconductor stocks is a buy because without them, a lot of things in this world don't work. People, refrigerators, computers, cars. You won't even imagine how much of these chips go into products that we use domestically every single day. So yes, he makes a great point. Semiconductor chip companies are 100% great opportunities if you can afford them. Now, I spoke about Ford earlier. I'm just taking a couple questions that I dive back in. Shouts out to everybody that's on IG Live. Shouts out to everybody that's on YouTube and Facebook right now. Somebody said, what about Ford? Ford is definitely a buy at $11. The stock was at $23. The company is changing all their cars within the next 5 to 7 years into a full electrical, multi-billion-dollar company. Ford been in the game for one of the biggest companies that have been in the game for the longest. Ford is not going anywhere, and they pay dividends. Shout out to Ford. Ford is 100% a buy. Ticker AI. Ticker AI, I am down on Ticker AI almost $40,000. Great question. I bought Ticker AI at maybe $85. The stock is probably at $15. The stock did a plunge. I'm down almost $50,000 off AI. I'm a big fan of AI. AI at the price it's at is a great stock to definitely look into, especially I think it's at $17 for the person who asked that question of ticker AI. AI is an artificial intelligence company that deals with a lot of artificial intelligence that's going to be in a lot of different products that we're using, such as cars, computers, and many other things that's going to be very valuable to the future of the autonomous world of robotics and everything such as that. So 100%, if you're into that world, which I am, I am invested in AI. I am stuck in AI. I cannot move. I'm at $80. I think the stock is at 16. I'm down like $50,000 on AI right now. Probably all love, man. Appreciate all of you saying thank you for sharing all that good stuff. Okay, great. Oh, Peter. Yeah, yes. Thank you for the owner of Lucid. I did not know this guy's name. And people, if you don't know the owner of Lucid, his name is Peter Rollison. And I'm gonna be honest, definitely look him up and hear how he speaks. Very unique voice, I must say. I'm asking, okay, cool. Okay, join idea. Okay. I got a question about a Shopify. I do have Shopify on my list, so I might as well take it out now. Shopify has dropped from almost $1,300 to $300 and some change. Shopify, in comparison to a company called Wix, W-I-X, has probably the most client base in the macro market of online website building than any other consumers in the world. Okay. Nobody is beating Shopify when it comes to people owning websites through their database. They're the biggest, because a long time ago to make a website, you'd have to pay a person $14,000, $15,000, $2,000, $3,000 to make a website, $10,000. Not anymore. Nowadays, if you got $50, $80, they have maybe 2,000, 3,000 templates. You can make a website in maybe 4 hours. You're already ready. You do it by yourself. You don't need nobody. You control your own website. 90% of websites right now are being done self-created, self-made. You do not need a person to make a website for you anymore to start a business or to run your business or to have an online business. Shopify, companies like Wix, these companies are great companies. Both companies are buys. And here's the first time you're going to hear me ever say this. Shopify is a buy at the $300 price tag that is currently at, I think, $340. And here's what's crazy about Shopify. Shopify is about to do a stock split, I think a 3-for-1 or a 6-for-1. So Shopify is probably going to be at $50 in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be buying some more when it does the stock split. 100% Shopify is a buy. Great question. Here we go. Number 6. MicroStrategy. This is for people who want to benefit as Bitcoin eventually come back up in the future. When I say future, we're talking minimum 2-3 years. If you cannot hold. MicroStrategy, ticker MSTR. This stock was at $1,300 or $1,200. The stock is currently at $140. To me, if the stock goes down to $100, this is a great buy. Even at the price it's at now is a buy. But the reason I would not buy it now because I feel Bitcoin, and I'm going to say it again, has way more down than up to go. So be careful. I would definitely recommend MicroStrategy, and of course you guys know who own it. Michael Strayer. This guy owns a lot of Bitcoin. People, he bought it at the high numbers too, and he's a strong believer in Bitcoin. We all know 3 to 5 years from now, Bitcoin is going to be maybe at $100,000 or $150,000. So right now, this is just something Bitcoin loves to do: pull back, recorrects itself. A couple years later, it's up maybe 800%. People, that's just how this thing rolls. Yes, we know it hit 69,000. Now it's at maybe, I don't know, I think 20,000. A couple days ago, it hit 17.5. Will it hit 10 or 8? Yes, it could probably hit that. But you got to understand, if you want something that moves with that particular commodity or asset class, you definitely want to take a look at MicroStrategy. I feel MicroStrategy still has a lot more down to go than up. So I would wait for it to at least hit $100 or at least $80 before I start to buy a couple shares. Now, for some of you that still want the exposure to crypto, but don't want to spend 80 or 100, I got a stock for you. Coinbase. I am such a fan. I'm such a fan as I'm not invested in this stock. I want to make sure I make this disclaimer. I'm such a fan as this stock tanks. And remember, this stock was at $390. Okay. Ticker. Somebody asked, what's the code? Or what's the ticker? Not the code, sorry. Okay. When you ask, MicroStrategy is MSTR. Coinbase ticker is COIN. Okay. When I say ticker, for some of you that may not know what a ticker is, nothing personal. I just want to educate you guys and give you guys knowledge. A ticker just simply means the abbreviation of the company. When you're talking about stocks, you always have to say ticker. When you're asking what's the name of it, when you look it up on whatever platform you're looking it up. And honestly, when you're on Robinhood and different platforms, once you type it in, it gives you the ticker. So it's not something you need to remember. It just so happened I live this life. I live trading. I'm always on CNBC. I'm always in the market every single day. So I kind of know every ticker from, and it's retained in my mind. But ticker Coinbase. Coinbase ticker COIN is a buy. And I'm going to say it's a buy at 25, not now. Because again, it correlates with what? Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is not done bottoming. Now remember, Coinbase was at $390. Now think about this, okay? Coinbase is now at $56. Imagine this thing goes to $25 or even $10 when Bitcoin tanks even more. Do you understand how much money you're going to make if you could just simply hold? Remember, like I told you guys, do not buy. Buy in increments. Do not put all your money in one shot and buy. Buy in increments when you're buying these stocks. Number 7, we're talking about, we're going into, of course, the gambling stocks. People, Penn Gaming National, wow. This stock was at $140. Okay. This stock dropped all the way to, I think right now, $40. I feel Penn Gaming hits 20. You could close your eyes and buy. you can close your eyes and buy. What's hurting these companies, of course, is the market itself. Second, a lot of these companies did borrow a lot of leverage through the whole COVID. And now, of course, with high interest rates, it's affecting them because a lot of these companies are fully leveraged when it comes to capital. And you got to understand that affects people's bottom line dollar. And while the market is pushing back, a lot of people are also getting uncomfortable and they're selling a lot of stocks. So that's hurting the stock also. So there's a lot of factors that's hurting a lot of these stocks. But again, whenever there's a catastrophe in life, there's always an opportunity in life, people. Now, for a lot of you that may say, well, which is kind of crazy to me to say, well, Penn Gaming at $50 or $40 is too expensive. There's also DraftKings. Now, I'm going to be honest. DraftKings is roughly at about $15 or $14 right now. The stock was at $68. If I were you, okay, Bobby, I know you down like 20K in Penn. Oh, man. Am I? Penn, I'm down. I'm going to tell you how much I'm down in Penn Gaming. I'm down $40,000 in Penn Gaming. 40K. If you take the 50K of the other stock, I'm down in this one. That's $90,000 just off two stocks. I'm down a lot of money. For some of you, the amount of money I'm down, some of you would feel uncomfortable and probably shoot yourself. But again, the reason I don't feel no way is because, and I'm joking because I know nowadays mental health. The reason I'm saying this is because when I made the amount of money I made last year and the year before and the year before and a couple years I've been making money, you got to understand, I always sell. People that know me know one thing about Bobby. Once he makes 5, 10, 20,000 off, I sell. The thing that I did wrong, I would say, and I'm going to admit it to myself, I made a lot of money and I was cashed out of a lot of these stocks. But then I jumped back in maybe February last year or December the year before with all the money. And nobody knew, we all didn't know that the market was going to keep tanking and keep doing what it's doing right now. We didn't know it was going into a recession. So you could imagine. And Miami, let me tell you something. Shout out to you. I think it was in my chat room. Look, it's just a weight game. That's all it is. It's just a weight game. The only people that lose is if you sell. And if you're uncomfortable, you could imagine. I'm down $500,000 and I'm still in the market. I'm down $500,000, but I'm not buying. I'm just, if I do get into a position, I'm shorting. I'm not buying any stocks. Right now, I'm in like 3 short positions. Great question. Shout out to Miami. All right. Now, DraftKings, ticker DKNG, is another company, is a sports betting company, just like Penn Gaming, multi-billion-dollar company. Again, these companies have a lot of leverage, so that is killing them because interest rates are very high. There's also a lot of regulation issues that they're having to get into certain states that's also hindering them from growing and getting to the next level that they want to get into, especially for DraftKings. But as you guys can see, any boxing match, any big fight, any big athletic event, DraftKings is always there on the mat advertising. People, DraftKings is a big company. And also, guess who holds a seat on DraftKings? Michael Jordan. So just understand, Jordan's not going to lose every dollar like that. It don't work like that, people. He actually has a seat on DraftKings. So something to really think about. And if I were you, the stock was at 68. It's at current, I think 14. To me, it hits 12 or $10. Even right now, it's still a buy. I got 3 more. Number 8, you guys should know. Once I say this, I don't even need to talk much. Robinhood is at $7 a share. People, I want to tell you something about Robinhood, which is so funny, right? Robinhood has lost a lot of, I can't say lost a lot of users. It has a lot of scary users because a lot of people that's on Robinhood are like beginner investors. And they all jumped on Robinhood when the whole COVID happened. So beginner investors or beginner traders, they're very scary when it comes to seeing value go down. So Robinhood was at $70 a share. Robinhood is now at $7, which is a buy. Robinhood now has implemented a lot of things. Is going to be implementing even more. Where now, as you guys can see, there's been beneficiaries on Robinhood. Robinhood now is going to start to give you guys ability to change the hours and times that you get to buy and share stock. You now get to buy earlier, even sell later. They're eventually going to give you guys many other options and characteristics that other big platforms give you. And you can imagine what's going to happen. Eventually, they're going to be an acquisition target, meaning somebody going to eventually buy them out when they get back to proper numbers, or probably before they get back to proper numbers. For the stock to be at $70 to currently now be at $7, Robinhood, ticker HOOD, which is ticker Hood, is definitely a buy right now. $7, people, you can't go wrong. A lot of you blew $7 on a lot of things that you really don't even need. To put $7 into something that could make you probably $500,000 or $250,000 if you could buy enough shares. Buying enough shares mean 1,000 shares, 500 shares, 1,500 shares, people. One day I'll do a live to teach you guys the math, because math can't lie. The stock was at 70, it's at 7. 70 minus 7, that's $63. $63 times 1,000 shares, people. Do you understand how much money you just made? That's $63,000. People, do you understand how much money you can make if you own Robinhood and you just hold? Robinhood lets you buy Bitcoin, cryptos, stocks, and of course there is no fee to buy or sell any type of stock or crypto. And it's so easy to use. It has a swipe up feature that makes it fun for a lot of you to use, not knowing a lot of you are losing when you do that, because you should be doing limit orders, but we'll talk about that another day. But at the end of the day, Robinhood stock is definitely a buy at $7. The stock was at 70. What I want a lot of you to learn, as shout out to everybody that's on Facebook too, and YouTube right now, as I'm talking and teaching you guys so much about stocks. I've been in the stock market for about 14 years, 12 years investing. And the first 4 years, 5 years, I lost a lot of money. Because again, one of the biggest things I was doing was selling once things go down. I was scared. I didn't know any better. I was younger. I'm 35. I was probably 25 or 24 or 22, whatever. Now, me understanding how the markets work, I'm very comfortable in my skin. And, you know, this is why there's years you hear me post. And I even showed it. If you go scroll down my IG, making $300,000-$400,000 a year trading stocks. And I'm now not only trading, I'm invested. There's certain stocks I'm not selling for 5 years. Because again, the goal is to get to $5, $10, $20 million with just stocks. People, at the end of the day, your portfolio should be able to buy you an apartment complex. Your portfolio, your stock portfolio, should be able to retire you. But it can only do that if you can hold long term. Some of you get so excited when you make just $500, you're selling. You make 1,000, you're selling. People, that's cool. That's not going to give you the true wealth you want. A lot of you want to see $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, but you're doing short-term investing. You're investing short-term, but you want to see long-term wealth. It doesn't make sense. If you want to see true wealth, people, right now, with this stock market tanking, and it has way more to go, this is a great time for you to start investing into the stock market. If you're not in, getting a couple shares, and remember what I said, do not sell for at least 5 years. If you can't do that, you will never see $500,000, $1 million, $250,000, $5 million with this market. It's all a hold game. A lot of you, what makes you sell is just emotion. I'm scared. Oh my God, somebody told me something. I read something. Or somebody online giving you some story that didn't exist, that don't know shit about the stock market. People, at the end of the day, I'm a person who lived this. CNBC is on by 8 o'clock in the morning. I read documentaries all day. I'm on Yahoo Finance. I'm in my platform, Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade every day. I live the stock market. I live it while I do commercial real estate. I live the stock market, people. Like, this is my world. Any question about this area, I could answer. This is my world. Next stock I want to talk about, and I'm going to close out with the last one. Number 9. I'm giving you guys 9 stocks that you should be thinking about. If you're on this live, you got in late, just rewatch it when my secretary posts it, to repost it tomorrow, and make sure you take some notes. Payment companies are so lucrative. When I say payment companies, we're talking Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, PaySafe. Payment companies is the future and the right now. Right now, it's so amazing to know you could pay a person just, what's your phone number? I just Zelled you. What's your phone number? I just PayPal'd you. What's your phone number? I just PaySafed you. People, PayPal is a multi-billion-dollar company. They also own a company called Zoom, which is PayPal again, but the international version for people in third world countries. PayPal is taking over, like, it's kind of taking MoneyGram slowly out of business. Do you guys know Majority of people who have businesses online, they leverage PayPal. Because if you're a human being, you have a social, and you're in this country, majority of us have a PayPal account. So when we check out, we don't put our bank account information. We don't put our debit card. We just check out with PayPal. Now, PayPal is at $310. The ticker for PayPal is PYPL. PayPal is at $310, $320 a share. Guess how much PayPal is now? PayPal is down to maybe $60. I feel if it hits 50 or lower, PayPal is a buy. Now, for some of you that may feel like, well, Bobby, PayPal is pretty expensive. I don't want to spend $50. That's not in my budget. And I get it. Now, right now, cost of living is hurting some of us, a lot of us. Inflation is hurting us when it comes to, of course, investing. I also want to give you an alternative. PaySafe, ticker PYFE. Let me make sure that's the ticker. Yeah, PSFE. So sorry. Ticker PSFE is PaySafe. PaySafe is another payment company just like PayPal. Here's the difference. PaySafe, the highest it's been was $14 and $18. Now it's at $4. PayPal, the highest it's been was $310, $320. Now it's currently, I think, at maybe $60. People buying PayPal at $50 is amazing, but if it's too expensive, just buy PaySafe. PaySafe is, I think, at $2 right now, people. Imagine, other day it was at $1.50. $1.50. Imagine it. I would rather imagine you could even catch it at $1, and it goes back up to 14. It go to $20. People, these are multi-billion-dollar strong companies. They're just down because of the market, the economic conditions, the inflation. There's a lot of factors. Some of you are selling so goddamn fast. That's why a lot of these stocks are down. But it's also a great buying opportunity for a lot of us as a culture to make money. When I say culture, it's not just a black thing. People, at the end of the day, you got to understand, how do you retire? How do you stop working? These 9, or actually it was way more than 9, maybe 20 stocks I talked about tonight, I'm investing in maybe at least 90% of these stocks. You should be looking into these stocks, thinking about what you're doing, because at the end of the day, as you guys get older, you got to think about this. You have to retire. Social Security is not enough. Your 401k for some of you is not enough. How do you retire? And how do you retire early if that's what you want? Because retirement is not 59 and a half. When you invest, just like the wealthy do, they buy stocks. They buy real estate. Nothing has changed. Some of them buy crypto. At the end of the day, the question is, what are you buying? What are you investing into if you want to create wealth? I'm going to take some questions before I get off this live. It's going to be the last stock I give you guys. Ticker. This is going to be very new. Get ready. BITI. Ticker BITI just went public today. A company has decided, called ProShares. ProShares is a multi-billion-dollar company. This company created a stock that shorts Bitcoin. This is crazy. The company is already up just on the first day, $16. You would have made $16 on your money automatically today. Because as Bitcoin goes down, this stock goes up. As Bitcoin goes up, this stock goes down. They got a stock, ProShares created a stock that is for anybody who is against the direction that Bitcoin is going. So if Bitcoin is going up, ProShares is going down. Ticker BITI. If Bitcoin is down, ProShares is going up. Now, here's what's so funny about this, right? Imagine, I tell you guys, every 4 years, Bitcoin like to go up and surpass what it did. So it did 69,000. Imagine when Bitcoin hits 100,000 or 150. There's going to be two different types of people. That one person that feels it might go to 200. And there's going to be a guy like me. I'm going to already start buying BITI once it goes that high. You know why? Because remember, BITI bets against it. So the moment Bitcoin hit 100 or 140, 130,000, guess what I'm doing? I'm buying BITI. Because as Bitcoin tanks 50%, 80%, 60%, you're making a lot of money as Bitcoin goes in the opposite direction. Understand this again, this stock shorts Bitcoin. So if you're a person that's against Bitcoin while it's going up, BITI is your ticker, People, shout out to BITI. For a lot of you that may not understand BITI, I'll be glad to clarify that for any of you. If you have any questions, feel free. You can either book a session on Mentourme.com, or if I can briefly explain it through a DM, I can, but I don't know how. It's kind of tough to explain if you don't know what shorting is. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Shout out to everybody that's on this live on IG, Facebook. I gave you guys at least almost 20 different stocks I'm invested into and why I'm invested in. Some of them I'm not invested into, when I'm going to invest into them. And people, at the end of the day, these stocks will make you a lot of money. And there's one I did skip, and I'm so sorry. Ticker MTTR, Matterport. Matterport is a 3D company. You ever see these? You ever see? You can now do a virtual view on looking at homes online. That's Matterport. That's what Matterport does. MTTR. Here's what's funny. They're going to take that technology that's in Matterport and eventually put it in the metaverse of crypto and the metaverse of Facebook. So MTTR is at $4, which is a buy. Facebook, ticker META, was at 300 and I think close to 300. Now Facebook is roughly at 150. People, at the end of the day, you guys know ticker META. Once they get 100 or even 80, it's a buy. It's already a buy now, but people, I'd rather it take some more. Meta, which is also Facebook. The metaverse is the future. People, if you are not investing into the future, you will hurt yourself, because this is the future. Ticker META, which is the old Facebook. Ticker MTTR, which is at $4 or $5. If you don't want to buy Facebook, pay attention to MTTR. And I'm going to give you one last one. Roblox, ticker RBLX. Roblox was at $140. It's currently at $25. Roblox, the 3D block game that all these kids play, your kids, your nephew. The stock at $145, now it's at $25, $30. People, imagine when this company goes into the metaverse. People, do you understand where this stock will go? Pay attention to what's happening. At the end of the day, people, you got to understand, when it comes to investing, you got to start learning how to see things before it happens. The problem with a lot of us is we want to invest into things when it's happening. It's like, I remember people DMing me, Bobby, Bitcoin is at 50,000. Should I buy? Are you crazy? Now that it's going so high, this is when you want to buy when it's at 50, 60,000. Why didn't you buy when it was at 4,000? Shuts out the why need and what's going on. People, at the end of the day, investing is the only thing that's going to have you retire and live the best life of freedom. For a lot of you right now, I'm always going to do these videos to give you knowledge. All I want you guys to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Spotify. That means a lot to me, and share my video to be able to let somebody else hear the knowledge and get the knowledge too. My goal is always to tell you guys the truth, because I'm tired of seeing so many videos of lies online, of people saying they did this, investing and saying they did that, knowing they didn't do it. I want you guys to learn the truth. Shouts out to IG, Facebook, YouTube, everybody that's on these lives on all these platforms. People, make sure you guys enjoy. Bobby from Mentourme.com. Have a great evening. Love you all. Juanita, I will be hearing from you in the morning. We got some real estate to do. Mentourme.com. Appreciate you, Lori, in the bill. Everybody that's on the live. Juju, everybody that's on this live. Facebook, IG, all that good stuff. I will see you guys tomorrow. Mentor me.